Hello everyone. So here I'm back again with another Escalation Tier 10 video. This time I'm gonna be playing Roosevelt Island. Let me show you my build real quick. I'm using 4-piece striker, all pieces with echo, critical hit damage, and with the backpack and the chest piece. I'm using Exeter Club because these things are good for solo play, and Sheska Nipas with almost god roll DPS stats. I'm also using double MK46, both weapons with echo, frenzy, and critical hit chance. That way I can deal with the variety puck debuff. I'm also using the Quick Step, the Reviver Hype, the Decoy, and the Gunner Specialization. For my seasonal modifier, I already have it maxed out. I'm using the Invincible Active modifier, and along with the Munitions Belt, Contagion, and Surge Strike passive modifiers. And for my stats, here are all of the sources. That's critical hit chance, 186.3% critical hit damage, and a sum of 201.5% of weapon damage plus LMG damage. So let's start with the mission. So yeah, out of the 5 missions that we got this week, I think that this mission is definitely the fastest one for completion rewards by far. This will be a sub 15-minute mission, and there's some special strats that we can use for solo play to make this mission extremely short and one of the best missions on kill time ratio. Especially important if you want to farm prototype gear like the unit alloys targeted loot that we have today. So before that, let's talk about the first room. So the idea of this room is that we are going to be fighting either from this piece of debris or from behind the bench. Now, if you want to fight from behind the debris, just be careful from the invisible hitbox that's on the left side of the debris. You already saw that I had a little bit of problem trying to like run towards the piece of cover as if I'm some sort of a mime or something. So anyways, just drop a decoy in the middle and the first enemy wave of 5 enemies should be pretty easy to deal with. And also be careful with the one-for-all enemies. If you see one of them, prioritize it so that you can get all of the damage spread towards the enemies, and that way you can also cleanse the damage reduction that the enemies get. From here, for the second encounter, we are gonna stay on this piece of cover, and we can fight most of the enemies from over here. Now, even though the piece of cover usually are very small for stuff like hot food, luckily we don't have hot food for the current season mutator rotation pool, so that's a pretty nice thing. That definitely enables us to complete this mission a little bit more efficiently. And also as a reminder, every time you get 1 kill with one of your LMGs, I'm gonna be switching to another LMG so that I can cleanse the variety puck debuff. That's going to be a max of 25% weapon damage decrease. And we're gonna be fighting the enemies from this tier room from behind these white crates. I believe there's gonna be between 4 to 5 enemy waves that we have to be dealing with. And I really suggest that you try to use most of your ammo, LMG ammo that is, to try to kill the enemies. Like, don't try to like be too impatient like me and try to kill the enemies with the pistol because it's just gonna take way too much time. Like, just focus on trying to kill the enemies as soon as possible. As I said, this is one of those few missions where I think that solo completion is definitely going to be pretty competitive to the amount of loot that you can get on Foreman Co-op. I have done some Foreman Co-op runs on this mission. Yes, surprise, I also play on Co-op. And I have taken around 21 minutes, 24 minutes to complete a 4-man run. You can probably get something lower with some more optimized build synergy, but still, I definitely think that the solo strategy is far more consistent either way. So for this part right here, we're going to be staying behind this giant crate in the middle of the room, and we're going to be prioritizing first the enemies that are going to be coming from the right side. Those are going to be the first enemies that we're going to be killing, and we're going to be getting another extra enemy wave. I don't remember if it is 2, now that I'm thinking about it, but anyways, the last enemy wave from that side is always going to be composed of yellow LMG guy that we have to focus on. Those guys can be pretty annoying. And because of one for all, you should prioritize shooting the enemy with the modifier to cleanse the damage reduction layer from all the enemies. And after that, that should be done for this room. Now, before we continue along through the mission, we are gonna be climbing this ladder right here so that we can get gear crate number 1 out of, technically we can get 5 through this mission, but there's actually 7 throughout this whole this whole mission. Unfortunately, the last two can only be claimed after you complete the mission. And once you complete an escalation mission, the gear crates are not going to be dropping prototype gear anymore. So yeah, it's only going to be 5 claimable crates throughout the mission. Now from here, we're going to continue along throughout the hallway, and right in this intersection, we are going to be finding gear crate number 2. That's going to be an outcast crate, and we're going to need an outcast faction key to open this crate. Again, reminder, every crate throughout a mission can drop prototype loot. That loot will scale with your current tier, and it's always a good idea to open those crates on your first run for each mission. Now, anyways, for this next part right here, I'm gonna be dropping a decoy. It doesn't matter if it is on the left side or on the right side, just make sure that you drop a decoy right before you start a fight. For the first enemy wave, you have to be really careful with the LMG guy that's going to be on the back of the room. There's always going to be a heavy LMG, at least one. You can sometimes get 2 on the same encounter, but for the first enemy wave. And from here, we're going to be taking cover over here to deal with the enemy waves that are going to be coming both from the back of the room, where I'm currently aiming at, as well as from the burning debris dash corpses that are from the right side of the room, the north side. And again, thanks to all the modifiers that we have right now, this is a pretty easy mission overall to play. I even think that the solo version of this mission is far easier than the co-op version, especially for last room. So anyways, after you grab your loot, you can continue along throughout the mission. We're gonna open this gate, and from here we are gonna be getting the Angela part. I think that's the name of the NPC. We are going to be focusing on trying to kill first the one-for-all enemy, and second, the closest NPC that's to Angela. There's the one-for-all enemy, and there's the NPC that's right next to her. That way you don't have to worry about her getting down. If she ever gets down, you have around a 20-second window to revive her before you'll fail the mission. If you fail the mission, you lose your token, so keep that in mind. After you kill the 2 enemy waves, the door is going to open with the third and final enemy wave for this room. We're going to kill them, and we can continue along throughout the mission. We just have to destroy the gas tank. After you destroy the gas tank, as soon as we pass through this gate, we are going to be reloading our Frenzy LMG. That way we can deal with the next 2 enemies that are going to be on our right. We're going to move a little bit further to the right so that we can see the second wave of enemies spawning from that little white building. And we are going to be fighting from the center of this position behind this giant piece of cover so that we can try to both flank the enemies that may get close to us, as well as kill the enemy waves that are going to be coming both from that fence that are going to be climbing from. It's usually around 2 enemy waves that are going to be climbing the fence, and the last enemy wave that's always going to be coming from the yellow tent from our left. And also as a reminder, because we're fighting Outcast, if you ever get a heavy, you can also use something like a Ravenous, doesn't matter if it is expertise 30 or not, and use the blue primer mechanic to be able to destroy the armor plates of the Chunga. There we go. That was pretty easy. Now, before we continue along with the mission, we're going to grab our prototype loot, and we are going to be running behind these tents on the south side of this room, and we're going to find this yellow box. We're going to shoot it, and from here, we're going to find gear crate number 3. There we go. And now we can continue along throughout the mission. Gonna make sure that we have those LMGs empty. I don't know why she aimed at my head. She tried to betray me after I saved her. God damn it with this game. Anyway, so we're gonna be dropping a decoy right in the middle, and from here we're gonna prioritize any enemy that has one for all, because the damage reduction can be pretty annoying to deal with in this room. I had many instances, especially on co-op, where I'm usually pushed way back in the room from the hallway that we came from, and it's all thanks to the one for all damage reduction thing. Like right now, as the moment I'm recording this video is at 60%. It technically should be either 40% from the in-game description or 50% from the official patch notes. And yeah, at least with the 60% damage reduction, it can be pretty difficult to kill the flamethrower enemies. So anyways, after you kill the enemies, we can move throughout the mission so we can arrive at the C4 gate. We're going to be running straight to the white crate to get the C4. This one right here. And because we're playing solo, we also have to run towards the gate to put the C4, the explosive. If you're playing this in co-op, you can have someone already waiting at the gate so that you can skip all the running around. And we're going to be staying on this left side because we can get a pretty decent line of sight with all the enemies that are going to be coming from this white tent. It's going to be 5 enemies from this beginning enemy wave that we have to deal with. There's always a suicide bomber between those enemies, so we can try to get a quick kill shooting at their chest piece. And after you kill the 5 enemies, the next enemy wave is going to spawn right at the back of the room. They usually spawn behind the monument, and sometimes you should be able to see them from the sides. But unfortunately, there weren't any on the... I was able to shoot, so I had to start shooting on the air to be able to get their attention. And the next enemy waves are going to be coming mostly from both that fence that they're going to be jumping, that I'm currently aiming at, as well as to our rights. There's another fence that the enemies can also spawn by the south side, to be more specific, like we're on the general direction where I was previously aiming at. So anyways, after we kill 2 of those enemy waves, we're going to be getting the boss wave, and usually we get an additional NPC wave that we have to deal with. As always, be careful with the one-for-all enemies and try to prioritize that enemy so that we can remove the damage reduction thing that the enemies can get. Now, as I previously said, because this mission has many outcasts, chungas, you can also rely on Ravenous so that you don't have to worry too much about your DPS thing. Just focus most of your DPS on the actual enemies. And with that, that's the Basilisk room. After you grab all your loot and your LMG ammo drops, we can continue along throughout this tent, which is going to blow up. Now, before you drop down towards the game asks you to continue the mission from, we are going to take a little detour to the right, and from here we're going to find this yellow crate hanging from a tree. After we shoot it, that's going to be gear crate number 4. That's going to drop loot, and that includes escalation, the prototype gear that's exclusive for escalation, that is. Anyways, also we can find gear crate number 5 over here. It's going to be an outcast cache, and we're going to need an outcast faction key to open the cache. That's going to be the last cache that we're able to claim from this mission. There's 2 more, but we're only able to claim them after we finish the mission. And there's really no use on showing you the location of those. So I mean, I'm going to be showing it at the end either way, but still. So from here, we're going to be shooting from the right side. I like to stay on the lower part of this little, what is it? I don't know if I can call it a catwalk. I don't know if that's the correct word, or how high it is. But anyways, we can move through this side, and we're going to get an initial enemy wave of around 5 enemies. And then after you kill most of the enemies, you can get one last enemy coming from the gate. If that enemy has one for all, we can use that effect to spread the damage to the annoying sniper enemy that's on that watchtower. If not, we're gonna have to play peekaboo with that guy to be able to move throughout the mission. And now for this final part, we have to make sure that we have full LMG ammo, because we won't be able to get closer to one of the ammo boxes from the strategy that I'm gonna be showing you guys. The idea of this is just to be as fast as possible to keep a nice kill time ratio for this mission. It's a strategy that I've been able to get pretty consistently on solo. Don't know if it works on duos, and I definitely struggle to get this working consistently on 3-man and 4-man especially. So anyways, after we drop down, we're gonna move towards this piece of cover, and we're gonna drop a decoy right in front of us. From here, we're gonna focus on most of the enemies, and we have to make sure that we leave one last ad alive. Ideally, we're gonna prioritize the enemies with one for all, as well as the heavy guy that's gonna be on the boat that can man the turret that's on the top of that boat. And from here, we're gonna try to destroy the 2 fuel tanks that are gonna be on the sides of the boat. And as soon as we destroy those 2, we're also gonna focus all our fire on the last ad. If we do this correctly, we won't be getting any additional waves from the boat of the size of this room, and we should only get the enemy wave that's coming from the boat itself. That enemy wave is always going to be consisting of at least one suicide bomber, one chunga, and usually a flamethrower girl as well. It's 5 enemies in total. And after you kill the chunga, we have to run towards the engine hatch because after a few seconds, the rest of the enemies are going to be spawning on this side. But as I said, it's far better for kill time ratio to try to do the objective as soon as possible so that we can get on an escalation run on another escalation run as soon as possible. On the 10 seconds that we have for the boat to blow up, we can try to kill as many enemies as possible to get as many prototype drops as we can out of this run. Just make sure that you don't die on those 10 seconds because otherwise you're gonna lose the escalation. And with that, that's Roosevelt Island. As I said, this is the best mission to farm for escalation completion rewards, especially for solo play. And yeah, you're gonna be getting around 100 and don't remember if it is 110, 120 kills with the strategy that I showed you guys. The summary is gonna be bugged because of the 1-for-all bug that I already showed on a previous video. And yeah, so there's gonna be the other 2 gear crates that I talked you guys about, gear crate number 6 and gear crate number 7, but we're not able to get those. So anyways, if you like the video, you can like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I really love your comment, guys. And as always, be seeing you guys in the next video. Bye bye and have a nice day, everyone. Bye bye.